there. If it is Monday, you are with your girl Soso on the Sohria Alexander Show. Welcome, welcome everyone. Welcome to a show that is going to make you think. A show that is relaxing. A show where you will learn about many things. Welcome to my radio listeners on Liberty 92.3 FM. Welcome, welcome to the north, to the south, to the east, to the west of St. Lucia. I bid you good night. And welcome to all my viewers and listeners on YouTube and on my page, my Facebook, Sohria Alexander. And we are hoping soon to be on Liberty TV Flow 119. So it's going to be a lot of exciting shows, different angles, looking at things from different perspectives. And it's going to be fun. Gather your friends around the radio, around the TV, because you can, if you're watching me on YouTube, Facebook, wherever, you can stream me on your flat screen TV. But if you, on your radio, you can gather your friends around, sit and listen to So. And, it is so good. It is so good that your community, my community, is listening to So. Where I live. And I want to shout out Miss B. Thanks for listening. And to all the seniors who put their radios on to get So, those who don't have Facebook or YouTube. I know many of you listen to me via radio. And, I just want to shout out Miss B, and some others who said to my son, we listen to your mommy, we listen to her. Some of them on Facebook, YouTube, but some on radio also. So I would like to say hello and thank you. And thank you to all of you who listened. And let me tell you something, people, about me. About me, Sohria. I am a very straight person. What you see is what you get. I'm not going to pretend for anybody. And I think this is why people love me. And the blessings of the Lord maketh rich and addeth no sorrow. Some of y'all believe richness is having $10 million in a bank account. You can be rich in love. You can be rich in giving. You can be rich in helping someone with their homework. You can help someone put some tiles in their house. You can help someone fix their door. You are rich in many different ways. You may have a business and you want to contribute to somebody, you help them. In my case, I got lovely pot fish because, as I've said to you before, I have given the chicken a break and it is my 4th week. And let me tell you what this has done for me. And I try to cut off eating by 7, 8. What this has done for me, people, I am putting my clothes on me. And when I put my clothes on me, my clothes is just swinging around me. And people don't seem to understand that it is better to lose inches. When you lose inches, you fit so nicely in your clothes get loose. So people, little baby steps. And I've always been one who is and still is a sports fanatic, and I love to exercise, I love to train. I'm very active, because even when I'm walking and talking with my son, he's like, Mommy, you're walking too fast. I say, hey, but you're younger than me. Oh, Mommy, you're walking too fast. So let me tell you, people, the little changes add up a lot. And I realize many people, because my son was talking to one of the neighbors, and the neighbor said she also, for a long time, she stopped using a lot of chicken. She don't use chicken, period. And as for salt, it's just a little bit. So we know the issues and the stuff we face as Black people, right? Because of our genes, our heritage. So let us take care of ourselves, because as I have said before, on a Sunday, people have like 5, 6 different portions, different foods on their plates. You don't need all that. Try, if you want to really do that, try to fill your plate, like 3/4 of your plate, with leafy greens and salads and different stuff, and you have the little bits and ends on the side. We have to take care of ourselves, because if we don't take care of ourselves, who is going to do that for us? And our health care, we know it needs great, great, great improvement. And nothing is too hard for you to do. As long as you put your mind to it, nothing is too hard. So, I got a gift from someone with a business called me to say someone wants to buy fish for you. How much fish, how many pounds you want. So I took very conservatively, I took, a few pounds. And, the fish was very lovely. I cooked some. The same Saturday, I cooked some, and then I cooked some on Sunday. And it's very lovely. So I'm just going to show you the video. And to my radio listeners, you're going to hear me, okay? Just received some lovely pot fish straight to my door. And it is very nice. It is actually a gift. Someone asked me, they told me they have a fish business, and somebody's going to buy fish for me, and how much I want. Me being the very conservative person, I just took, a couple of pounds. So I've got fish for the week, yeah. Yes, so thank you very much for the pot fish. It's actually pot fish. And, I really like, the gesture, people really loving me, really loving the show, and want to gift me and bless me. Thank you so much. And one of my good girlfriends, Valerie Peter, said, "Oh, geez, heaven came down at Soso's home." She actually lives in the States, right? And, when they see the pot fish and the tuna, the dolphin. I'm not a fan of tuna fish. I'm more a dolphin, kind of person. And all of them want those fresh fish, So my people, eat healthy. And I want to say something before we get to the meat of the matter. I want to say something. I have always said that on my show, and I am going to continue to say it. Lime with eagles. Fly with eagles. Because, let me tell you, I think this is why I am very different. I don't just take what people tell me. I research for myself. Now, many of us use the Blue app. For those who listen and I do not know what the Blue app is, it is Facebook. And, Mr. Mark Zuckerberg has given the world the avenue to use his app in a social manner or in a business manner. And many people make a lot of money because of Mac and the different monetizations and whatever he gives to good pages and even good profiles, right? And some people, I'm talking to the St. Lucians now, always be with people, as I've always said, who can drag you up. When I see people who claim to be talk show hosts, that's not the real talk show hosts. I'm not talking about the bona fide people. When I see people who say they are talk show hosts, saying that people are coming on Facebook to make money and, like looking down on that, it tells me the level of illiteracy in my country. Because everything is on the internet. Instead of saying, let me see how I can improve my page or my profile so that Mark Zuckerberg can give me some monetization. Because in St. Lucia, it is not one of the countries that is on the list for monetization. But however, if Mark realized, because you can see my page is monetized by Mark. The stars are there. So if you want to purchase stars for the show, and I also have my buy me a coffee in there. Excuse me. If you want to purchase stars, it is there. If you want to buy coffee, it is there. It is supporting me. Now, I am coming here with my show, bringing my show to you. I have advertisers and stuff, right? This is a show that is educational and it will allow you to think. So if I am bringing all my resources, all my intelligence, everything here, intelligence here to you and for you to learn, why I am seeing some people saying, oh, you should be given this one, that, you should be given this one, that. If something is given to me because of my talent by Mark Zuckerberg, it is mine, not yours. It is mine. But you see, people like me, we will give and you will never know, because it is not about a show. And some time ago, my son and myself, we cooked like over 100 meals and we distributed the meals to a certain area. We're not gonna tell you that because it's not your business. We are not showmen. The only time I am a showman or a showwoman is when I come here to speak to you, right? I am not going to show what I did for people. And it is not a competition. It is not a competition helping others. And there are many people here who are well-to-do and they do help, but they say nothing to nobody. They say nothing to nobody. So I am just giving encouragement to other people who may be monetized that your money is yours. Do not let anybody tell you about donations, give this and that. Do it behind closed doors. Do not let people run you. And this is why people can't understand me. Nobody running me. I run my show. You understand? And what you find, birds of a feather flock together. Birds of a feather flock together. But if you associate with people who can really lift your thinking, and I see it daily. I see it while I scroll through the Blue app, Facebook, the way people think. It's like, if you are my friend, I cannot say I disagree with you. If I say I am going to disagree with you, it's going to be a problem. And what I have realized also, it has become very heavy. The climate is very heavy on Facebook, and even if you go out, you cannot even really express yourself because people are so tense. Why are you all so tense? Have a laugh. Life is short. Today we hear, tomorrow we're not. Why should I be vexed with anybody? That doesn't mean that I will associate with you, or go to dinner with you, or have coffee with you, or have a commercial coffee break. And I will be right back.
If it were a perfect world, I would never leave my seat. My fingers would do the clicking. My card would do the paying. And if it were a perfect world, my items would be sent hassle-free from this location to me via air or sea. And if it were a perfect world, in this one building would be warehousing, stress-free customs clearance facilities, and island-wide delivery. Fortunately, the world is that perfect because I've chosen West Indies Shipping, the leaders in imports, exports, clearance, and deliveries for over 20 years. Call them West Indies Shipping. Telephone 459-0444.
And we are back. Now remember, if you are watching on Facebook or YouTube, tag your friends, share the live. My lives are not rural and bacchanal and mapui, so you can share it with your friends and let your friends come and enjoy a good show. And in Radio Land, call a friend, tell your friend that so-so is on. And tonight we really want to discuss something that is critical to the existence of families, of children. Tonight, I want the men, ladies, get your men, your brothers, your husband, your boyfriend, whatever. Get them to listen. Tag your friends. Some of you are afraid to tag your friends. Why? And let me tell you why some of you are afraid to tag your friends and share. Because if you share, they will say, hey, you're sharing that live. You're sharing that live. You're calling me to listen. Because you are not your own person. When you are your own person, you're walking into the devil's camp and say, hey, I'm here. Now, we've been hearing about a lot of issues, especially with our young men and the things they do. A man plays a very important and vital role in the life of a child. But for some reason, I don't know what happened to men during the time of creation, or when Eve ate the apple. I don't know if it's during this time that men just lost all senses. Because we see it in our society and in the wider world, how women, they take up the mantle to take care of the family, take care of the children, go to work, send the kids to school, come home, cook, do all those things. Now, I have been a mother for 24 years. I have been in every step of my children's school life. How many men, be honest with me, write it in the chat for me, please. Some of you are just there and you're not interacting. You could write in the chat. That's for those on, social media. That's not for my radio people. Okay? How many of you, when you went to a parent-teacher association meeting, saw the hall was packed with men? If you do, then you must have been in a very lucky school or in a very lucky environment. Because I have been to many parent-teacher association meetings, and out of 200 parents, there might be maybe 5-10 men. Where are the men? The men believe that it is not important. The men believe that it is not important for them to be a part of their children's life. Also in sports, how many men you see when their children are taking part in sports are there? You'll see the mothers. I saw one of those famous footballers from overseas. I can't remember the country, but his mother was there while he was playing, a big star, and he went up to her, kissed her. She kissed her son. Why can't our fathers be present in their children's life? Now, people talking about absent fathers. An absent father doesn't mean that the person is not living with you. An absent father is one who takes no interest or do not show up for his or her child. And we see that, and what we do, we speak about so many problems, so many issues, so many bad characters in our society, but we want to blame everybody else. We want to blame the government, but we're not blaming ourselves. Where are the men? Where are the fathers? Fathers and emotional development. I will read to you. And mothers and fathers keep saying, when it is Mother's Day, the flowers are flowing, the perfume flowing, the gifts are flowing, everything is flowing. And then the fathers are saying that they are being left behind. But mothers are there with their children through thick and thin. A mother is going to stay with her child irrespective of, but the men run away from their responsibilities. This is why, now sometimes you may never know, but this is why you have to be very careful who you end up marrying or you are in a relationship with. Because some men will lie and they will say to you, I will never be like my father. And they end up being everything and worse than their father. You ladies, take my advice. It is very important you watch how a man, before you marry him, treats his mother, his sisters, women. You have to be very, very, very careful. Although some of them can cover up very, very good. So fathers, like mothers, are pillars in the development of a child's emotional well-being. Children look to their fathers to lay down the rules and enforce them. They also look to their fathers to provide a feeling of security, both physical and emotional. Children want to make their fathers proud. And an involved father promotes inner growth and strength. Studies have shown that when fathers are affectionate and supportive, it greatly affects a child's cognitive and social development. It also instills an overall sense of well-being and confidence. Fathers are important. And when you have a child from birth, you're supposed to continue being in this child's life. And you heard, fathers, like mothers, are pillars in the development of a child's life. But we have seen it that many fathers are not present for their children. When a man is involved in his child's life, it keeps that child emotionally sound because you are supporting this child. This child is not on his or her own. They have the parents there to support them. And it is a very critical issue in St. Lucia. Where are the men? Are the men being examples to their children? Right? It instills an overall sense of well-being and self-confidence in the children. I have seen children in various activities, and when either parent show up or even the father, because the mothers are always there, when the father shows up, it's like their face just beam up. But men too need to understand. Men too need to understand themselves. Sometimes, you really cannot give what you don't have. You really cannot give what you don't have. And I'm going to show you why I said that in a bit. I am going to show you a man said exactly what I am saying to you. Sometimes these men get married and they don't even know what they are entering in. If you have never loved yourself and know who you are, you will not be able to be a productive father to any child. Because fathers set the bar for relationship with others. Fathers not only influence who we are inside, but how we have relationships with people as we grow. The way a father treats his child will influence what he or she looks for in other people. Friends, lovers, and spouses will all be chosen based on how the child perceives the meaning of the relationship with his or her father. The patterns a father sets in the relationship with his children will dictate how his children relate with other people. So why do you think we have so many broken young men or women? It's because the father themselves are broken. It's a vicious cycle until somebody say to themselves, the father says to himself, I need to do better. I need to change. I need a revival in myself so I can be effective not only to my child or children, to society. It's going to be a recurring decimal. And listen to what he says. The way a father treats his child will influence what he or she looks for in other people. And if you are with a father in a home, right, and this father is always cursing out at the mother, always quarreling with the mother, always beating up the mother, coming home drunk, okay, this child will believe this is acceptable behavior and continue in this vein throughout their life. Children learn from what they see. They are sponges. And then we're asking ourselves, but why are you behaving like that? It's because of what he saw his father or her father did. Just like mothers, fathers are supposed to be pillars, but it is evident that fathers are failing. And there is no doubt about it. Fathers would not call their children to see how they are doing. Fathers will not just pop up at schools to say, I just came to see you. Depending on the child's age, the father will say, okay, I just brought some lunch for you, or I just brought some money for lunch, or I just came to see you. And this is why I have always said that I am a communicator. I like to sit and discuss things, but my experience have taught me many people are not communicators. And what they do, they sweep it under the carpet instead of sitting and having a heart-to-heart discussions. And anytime you realize that men in particular are afraid to have a hard discussion with a woman, it all boils down to their upbringing. It all boils down to their upbringing. And lately on social media, I have been realizing a lot of black love. I have been realizing how our black men are realizing, I got to be better than my father. I can't allow my children to continue in this experience. I've got to be better. I've got to love this woman, whether the woman is his wife or not. I've got to show my children that I love their mother, I respect their mother, in order for them to go out there and be productive citizens, productive husband, lovers, whatever. It is very, very important. And, you know, there is a young, famous couple, recent Kwan. My son always look at them. They are not married. They are engaged. They have their son, Shine. And then they're going to have another baby boy. And let me tell you, for young people, I admire them. And one thing they said, right? They said that if they are upset with each other, they do not flame, they do not shoot to come on Facebook, on YouTube. They're on YouTube and Facebook. They would prefer solve their issues. You know why they are able to say that? Because both of them have learned, in order for it to work, we have to sit and communicate. Because as I've always said, and people keep looking at me, so what you're saying, love ain't got nothing to do with it. Love lasts for a while. But what is going to keep that bond and that commitment is attachment. When you're attached to somebody, you are willing to say, let us sit and make this thing work. Let us see how we can get this done. But if you're not attached to the person, you're going to move on to the next one. The man is going to move on to the next one. The woman is going to move on to the next one. And lately, we have seen many women have decided to stay by themselves because we just can't deal with the crap. If you find a man who is willing to communicate and is attached to you and is willing to make life good for you, then you have scored a win. And I believe Reese and Kwan are good example, even to older couples. It is very important. And when you look at how they treat their children, their son and the baby coming up, and each other, it is so remarkable. And with this, we are going to take another coffee commercial break.
If it were a perfect world, I would never leave my seat. My fingers would do the clicking. My card would do the paying. And if it were a perfect world, my items would be sent hassle-free from this location to me via air or sea. And if it were a perfect world, in this one building would be warehousing, stress-free customs clearance facilities, and island-wide delivery. Fortunately, the world is that perfect because I've chosen West Indies Shipping, the leaders in imports, exports, clearance, and deliveries for over 20 years. Call them West Indies Shipping, telephone 459-0444.
And we are back. And it is a very interesting topic. As I said, get your friends, get other people to join in. And I know some people say to me, after maybe because of work or time differences, they go back to watch the show. And I am very grateful for that. We are talking tonight, I don't want our men to believe I am bashing them. I'm just speaking reality. And for now, I'm leaving the ladies because I have spoken to the ladies some time ago. Fathers and their sons, very, very, very important. Unlike girls who model their relationship with others based on their father's characters, boys model themselves after their father's character. That is very important. And I just said it. I just said it before. The boys look at what their father do, whether in the home or outside, and mimic their behavior. Unlike girls who model their relationships with others based on their father's character, boys model themselves after their father's character. Boys will seek approval from their fathers from a very young age. So you see, boys will seek approval from their father from a very young age. However, are the fathers there? Sometimes those children see those fathers once every 3 months, once every 6 months, or once every 10 years. If God have given you a child, men, fathers, or children, He has placed within your hands a perfect gift, and you should do any and everything to take care of your children. It is no excuse to say, I cannot take care of this child. You brought this child into this world. As human beings, we grow up by imitating the behavior of those around us. As human beings, we grow up imitating the behaviors of others around us. So if you lime with people, your father limes with people who drinks a lot, eventually you're going to drink a lot. We know there is peer pressure for kids, but kids look at their parents as role models. Why should you want another man? Or why should you want another woman to be a role model for your children? A man sets the tone. He sets the tone for his children. Okay? That's how we learn to function in the world. If a father is caring and treats people with respect, the young boy will grow up much the same. If a father is caring and treats people with respect, the young boy will grow up much the same. When a father is absent, young boys look to other male figures to set the rules. You see, rules in inverted commas for how to behave and survive in the world. Why do you think we have so many issues, so many problems in Sweet St. Lucia? And I think that is one of the things that our government can do. I'm big on social programs. I saw some of the comments by my followers on the last live saying, so you need to go to the various schools to talk and to do whatever. I am big on social intervention, and we should not do it piecemeal. There must be a plan. It must be strategic to really change the lives of everybody. But we have to start with our men, our fathers. Because if you are a good man, you may not be father to another child, but your character, or you're always around this child will look at you and say, I want to be like this guy. Men, you have such an important role. And I know some people may get upset with me saying that. But I am one who believes in the Bible. Some don't. But I am one who believes in the Bible, and I really and truly believe that a man is the head. The man is the head of his household. Unfortunately, it's not like that. Many women are the head of their household. Sometimes you still have a husband, you still have a boyfriend, you still have a fiancé in your house, and you are still the head. The man needs to take up their rightful role in order for our society to improve. Unless our men do not take on the responsibility of being a man and working on themselves, society will always be broken. It is very important, because what these children do, you are not there as a father figure. Mothers try all they can, but sometimes they still yearn for that father figure, and they look outside the door on the streets for that kind of love. They're not really getting love. They're not getting any love. It's just like gangs. They will join a gang and feel love, but that's no love. So when we want to look and say, oh, we're gonna solve crime, we have to stop, or we have to solve crime by looking at our men, our fathers. How many seminars do they have for men? We always hearing about seminars for women, retreats for women. We're hearing about all sorts of marches. Why don't the men have a march to say, hey, we are taking St. Lucia back. We as men, we are going to improve our lives. We are going to do the necessary things, the necessary interventions in our own life, introspection, so that we can change our life. How many men are willing to say that? We need to see our men taking the lead. We need men's retreat. You know, and I'm big on community, because Many times we talk about the retreats, we talk about the marches, the men marches. We do it on a grand scale. In order for us to get our men, our fathers, to understand the importance of their roles, we have to start within the communities. Have communities retreats. Okay? In the 17 constituencies, have various communities. Have community retreat for men. We women always reading. We women always going to retreat. We women always trying to, better ourselves, how to be better, how to do this. But you may not believe it. Sometimes our men need to be coaxed into going to those things and improving their lives. I would have an issue. I would call a girlfriend and say, oh my God, I have an issue. I'm crying. Oh my God. Let's say you have an issue with your partner. You're crying. Oh my God, he's not understanding, blah, blah, blah. You're crying. Your girlfriends will come and spend the night with you. Yeah. Your girlfriends would come and spend the night with you. They will sit on the floor with their pajamas and cry with you. But a man has an issue. He calls another male friend, or sometimes he never calls. But when he calls or decides to share it, maybe in public or call his friends, they laugh at him. They say, why? They will laugh at him, and then what happens? The next day we hear he commits suicide. Because men need to be supportive of each other. Men too have emotions. Men to hurt, men to cry. This foolishness, we raise our children, our boys, our male child. If they fall, oh, get up, what you crying for? And when the girls cry, we allow them to fall and we go kiss it. No. Men have emotions just like women. So the man will call his friends and the friends will laugh at him. And unlike women, we will bind with each other and support each other. And this is one of the things we really have to look at. And I've said it in my show before. Where are the mothers and fathers group? Let me tell you, people need to socialize. You need to have that sense of belonging, right? Some people will not be able to handle situations on their own. They would need a place to go. We tend to forget our men and only focus on our women. That's what we tend to do. And we leave the men, to fend for themselves. And I have seen it. I think there was a guy that happened maybe during COVID. There was this guy who, said something on Facebook, how he was hurting because of what his girl did. The girl had another man and all sorts of things. And he was really sad and wanting to kill himself. I don't think he killed himself, if I'm correct. But people were laughing and jeering at him. Let me tell you, sometimes we are the most cruel set of human beings by laughing at somebody else's plight. Men cry too. So this is why many relationships sometimes don't work, because the man believes that if I am having a discussion with my partner and then I show emotions and cry, she will laugh at me. No, you shouldn't laugh at your partner. You shouldn't laugh at him, because he is formed in the image and likeness just like you. You have blood flowing through your veins just like him. And we need that. I know the government is doing things, on the side of, getting security and everything, which is fine. But the social intervention, and I wanted to start having many retreats, community retreats for our men. Men checking on each other. Men pulling each other up. Hey, why you didn't go to your child's school meeting? Why didn't you go to the soccer game? Why didn't you go to the swim meet? Why didn't you go to the athletic games? What is going on with you? Why aren't you spending time with your child? When we have community groups and we have serious men who see the importance of their children, right? Especially the boys. The girls need you too. But having a part in your child's life as a man is important. I know everybody has life to deal with. We all have life to deal with, because even me sometimes, even today I was saying that, I say, oh my God, I have to call this person. I said I would call you back. We all have our life. Life happens. Sometimes you're so busy you forget to call them, right? But we must make a concerted effort to check on each other. Ladies, we ain't got that problem. We got each other. But the men, you need to change your thinking. You need to open up your minds. You need to open up your mind and start receiving the counsel you need to be better fathers. Imagine if every man decide, I don't know, I really don't care your economic standing as a man, your education level, you can always grow to be a better person. You can always grow to be a better person in terms of being willing to accept the help that is out there to change your life. And with this, we are going to take another coffee commercial break.
If it were a perfect world, I would never leave my seat. My fingers would do the clicking. My card would do the paying. And if it were a perfect world, my items would be sent hassle-free from this location to me via air or sea. And if it were a perfect world, in this one building would be warehousing, stress-free customs clearance facilities, and island-wide delivery. Fortunately, the world is that perfect because I've chosen West Indies Shipping, the leaders in imports, exports, clearance, and deliveries for over 20 years. Call them West Indies Shipping, telephone 459-0444.
And we are back. I really hope you are enjoying the show, because I'm just really talking from a point of knowledge, from a point of wanting us to be better as people, because sometimes we get so caught up in the political madness that I see on Facebook that we forget the real issues that we need to solve. We need to sit and have intelligent conversation with our men about family, about business, about the birds, the bees. You need to do that. So I hope you are enjoying this. And remember, Radio Land, I know everybody's heard me from the north to the south, to the east, to the west, Liberty 92.3 FM. Remember, I am on every Monday and Wednesday from 9 p.m. to 10 p.m. on Liberty 92.3 FM, and soon we'll be on Flow, Liberty TV, Flow 119. So yes, my people, allow me, sit back and listen, and those who can view will view. Allow me, everything I've said to you tonight, I spoke from a point of knowledge, because this guy said exactly what I said to you, and he felt abandoned by his father. How does a lack of a father figure affect you? Take a listen.
I was lost. I really was. I was lost. I grew up without a permanent father figure in my life. I had a couple of stepfathers come into my life who weren't great examples looking back on what it meant to be a man. I think about my childhood, and I remember my friends, they would go on hunts with their dads, and they'd be playing catch in the yard with their dads, and I didn't have that. But I didn't feel bad as a kid. I really didn't, because you don't know, right? You don't know you don't have anything to compare it to. So my life was just my life. It wasn't like I felt like I was missing out. I did a lot, and I'm sure we'll get into some of these things that I've been able to do, but I got married, and I was lost as a husband. I didn't know how a man showed up for his family.
How did you know that?
Because the results weren't there. There wasn't love. There wasn't a whole lot of respect in our relationship. My wife's here, right now. There wasn't a whole lot of respect mutually between her and I. At times I feel bad about even saying this, but I didn't really even want to, be at home. I wanted to be out pursuing work and doing the things that I thought I was supposed to be doing. I had a 1-year-old son at the time, and I didn't know how to father him. And I felt like, at times more of a nuisance. I always loved him, but more of a nuisance really than my son. I mean, I think about who I was then. I feel bad about even saying it. There was a time where my wife and I got into an argument. We were supposed to go on a trip, and we couldn't. It started snowing or something, and we came home and we got into an argument. And long story short, I looked her straight in the eye and said, I don't even want to be married to you anymore. And she said, I don't either. And the next morning, she left. And so her and I went through this separation, and I really struggled. I remember sitting in my 1-year-old son's room at the time, empty, crib, couple pictures on the wall of him, looking at the picture of him, crying, saying, I'm going to find a way to get you back in my life. And through a lot of work and a lot of conversation and a lot of self-discovery on my own part, and you know what? She would say the same thing about herself. So I don't want to excuse any of the things that she had to work on, because a lot of guys will say that, well, it takes two to tango. Yes, it does. But I could only work on myself. I couldn't do anything about her. And that's actually what I tried to do, is I tried to control her, manipulate her. If only I could get her to change, then everything would be fine. If she was appreciative and supportive and did the things that a quote unquote good wife should do, then we wouldn't have these issues. And it wasn't until I actually came to the conclusion, I remember the road I was on, the cross street I was on, where I thought to myself, this marriage is over. And simultaneously, I remember thinking, well, if this marriage is over, then I just want to become the best catch for the next woman to come into my life. And that's where things started clicking for me, is I began to work on myself. I began to fix the business that I had, which was a financial planning firm. You and I have talked about that a little bit in the past. I got back into shape, started to get the finances in order, started to focus on me, which a lot of guys don't do. I look at guys driving down the road to work, and I assume they're miserable, because I can see in their eyes they're miserable. They're driving to a job that they hate, to sit in a cubicle or box for 8, 9, 10 hours a day, to get home, to feel annoyed or put out that they have to do anything with their wife or kids, eat dinner, maybe watch some TV for a couple hours, go to bed, sleep an insufficient amount of sleep, and then get up and do the same thing over and over and over again. And these guys are just running through this cycle. I know what it feels like, because that was me. And when I started to work on myself, I was able to remedy and fix a lot of that. I feel like over the past, it's been almost 11 years now since my wife and I went through our separation. I'm a significantly better husband, significantly better father, but that all stemmed from learning to take care of myself.
And you heard what the gentleman said. He first had to learn to take care of himself in order to be a great father. Before he felt his son was a nuisance. Nothing was working out for him. You can be married, you can divorce a woman and continue, maybe go back and get married and not work on yourself. Nothing is going to work, not your business, not your love life. Nothing is going to work. And this gentleman said it so beautifully because he said he wants to be the best there is. So he had to work on himself. And that is what a lot of people don't understand. We all like to pass the blame on other people instead of we looking at ourselves. But I'm talking to our men today, right? And I believe that our Minister of Social Justice, Equity, and all the other names, Honorable Joachim Henry, I think it is his ministry. And I believe funds, he's actually my parliamentary rep for Castro South East. I believe his ministry should really allocate monies to the various, constituency, right? And we have various communities throughout St. Lucia. Let us invest in our fathers. Because you can't have a child without a man. And that man will become a father, but that mother will always be there. So we need to educate our men. Let our men realize that they are very important. And in order for you to change, you need wise counsel. And we cannot just say, we should be doing the same thing over and over and over again. We're doing the same thing without even saying, hey, let us stop. They need to pinpoint. They need to pinpoint the various areas. They need to pinpoint the various areas and work with our men. It's not going to be an easy task. It's going to be rough. We need to talk to them. In order for a country to move forward, community life is very important. Imagine, I know when growing up as a child in church, they used to have, oh my God, they used to have the men's ministries, right? And the men would go and whatever. And you know what? The women's ministries lasted longer than the men, because I just don't know how men are wired, and it crashed. When it's women's ministry, you see a lot of women, and then when they start the men's ministry, you saw a lot come in, and then you just see like it dwindle out. Men's ministry is for men to talk. And I think the way we socialize our young boys, that is the issue, that is the problem. The way we socialize our boys, that was the problem. You're not supposed to cry when you fall. You're not supposed to feel pain if your girlfriend leaves you. You're not supposed to feel pain if your wife leaves you. You're supposed to be a macho man and don't cry. No, man, you gotta cry. You are human just like us women. And this is why I keep saying to you that you need to really gather your friends, right? You really need to gather your friends to listen to Soso. Again, we are on every Monday and Wednesday on Liberty 92.3 FM from 9 p.m. to 10 p.m. Tell your friends, and soon to be on Liberty TV, Flow 119. So we're talking reality. This is a show you will not come and hear politics and rah-rah. You're not going to hear that. We're going to talk. We're going to rap. And always remember that you are important. Men, you are important. Even if you feel right now you're at the bottom of the ladder, you're sitting on that block, we can help you by doing this community intervention, right? We can help you. And let us be there. Let me tell you, it doesn't take much to really change these men's life by we showing care and we showing love. Let us up the narrative in terms of being positive, helping all our men. So, take away my pain.